How we doing, fellas? Don't really have time to finish up TimeSpiral today, so I'm just going to sort through my draft acquisitions and such. We decided to draft a triple new Pharaxia last night. That's a weird thing. I can't really say I recommend that, but hey, it happens. I did all right in the first draft. Came in fourth. Second draft did pretty assy. Got some funky stuff though. I mean, I picked up a Phyrexian Unlight. It's 2 colors and a white. You don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. If you have 0 or less life, all sources deal damage to you as if they had an effect. What I think is funky about that is I'm tempted to try and find a way to play that with Form of the Dragon. It's like, yeah, at the end of each of my turns, my life total resets to 5. Oh, you beat me down on below 0. Okay, now stuff will do damage to me as if it has an effect. Oh. Yeah, that's interesting stuff. Taxis. He's an interesting one. The 8 and double blue for a 5/4 with flash. At the beginning of your end step, draw 7. Each opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 7. So, yeah, he's funky. That, and of course, there are also 2 ways right now in Standard to cheat him out on turn 5 without using reanimation. I mean, hard cast him. Yeah, Bear Umbra and Sword of Feast and Famine. Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger. He does wacky, mean, evil stuff. Glistening Elf, 1/1 effect. It's alright. Leeching Bite's good for taking out weenies. Unfortunately, I had it in a green deck that didn't have a lot of creatures on the low end of the mana curve. My mana curve didn't pick up until I hit the 4 slot. So that seriously worked against me. Pristine Talisman, without mana burn in the rules, it's pretty good. Because you can just tap it and gain the life. Oh, I don't think I'd play it constructed, but it's not too bad. Insatiable Soul Eater is a 5/1 with Trample on Phyrexian green, or as I like to call it, P green. Yes, it's all P mana. It's kind of yellowish in color. Mutagenic Growth, I like those. I'll pick them up, I'll put them in any color deck. Any color. Glis's Scorn, or some people are calling it Glis's Booty. I think it's kind of silly to call it that, but whatever. I understand why they call it that. Gremlin Mine, cute little card. Got lots of uses. Death Head Cobra. Kind of wish there was an easy and or cheap way to give them regeneration or indestructibility. Triumph of the Hordes is interesting. I kind of like it, I kind of don't. Talisman, Alloy Mirror. 3 colors for a 2/2 mirror that taps for 1 of any color. Shrine of Loyal Legions. The shrines are mechanically kind of sort of interesting. Honestly, I think the white shrine, the Shrine of Loyal Legions, and the red shrine, whose name I can't recall off the top of my head, are the best of them. The black shrine, I don't really like. It's okay, you have to pay some mana, and what is it, 3 to put it out at least? I can't remember. And then you put counters on it, and then you sack it to make them discard, and it's just, then you have to pay mana and sack it to make them discard, and it's really? That's a lot. I mean, there's so many more efficient discard spells available. I don't know about in Standard, though. 2 more Insatiable Soul Eaters, another Glistening Elf, another Scorn, another Leeching Bite, a Gitaxian Probe that I didn't end up playing, Enslave. I didn't end up playing black in this particular draft deck, but Enslave is nasty. Kind of like it. Mortis Dogs, as has been noted on the Wizards website. It's basically a modified version of Hollow Dogs. Hollow Dogs was a little bit more mana for a 3/3 with pretty much the exact same ability. Oh, actually, it doesn't have the go to the graveyard clause on it. Reaper Shouldered, interesting. I've heard some people say good things about it, but I didn't get the chance to play it. Geth's Verdicts, very nice. Playing up on the whole Cruel Edict, Chainer's Edict line of stuff. Whispering Spectre. He's interesting. I don't know if I like him or not, but he's interesting. Wall Splicer, high on the mana curve, but you get 3 creatures out of that. Dispatch is nice if you can reliably get Metalcraft. If you can't, don't even bother with it. Remember the Fallen, interesting. It's alright. I don't know if I like it or not. I like to make the joke about it that it's it's asking us to remember a black card from the dark. For those of you who don't know, the Fallen is the name of a card from the dark. Inquisitor Exarch, double white. When it comes into play, either you gain 2 life or your opponent loses 2 life. It's alright, not bad. Evil Presence, silly reprint. Actually, I'm thinking about maybe seeing if I can't, maybe sometime pick up a bunch of Evil Presence and Victorious Destruction, which is 4 colors and a red. Destroy an artifact or land. Controller loses a life. I'm wondering what I could do with, a deck of, Victorious Destructions and Evil Presences. If they're not playing black, you can, right there, you can screw their mana base up hard. Green Hill Trainee, I'm not impressed by him. At least not yet. Jew Surge, it's a cute card, I like it. I want to find a way to abuse it. Ogre Menial is a 0/4 infect with fire breathing. I like to call him infect breathing. He's cute. The Vicious Destruction. Whip Flare, it's interesting, 2 damage to each non-artifact creature. Don't know if I like it or not, but it's there, it's interesting. A lot of this stuff is so new, I don't know why I say I don't know if I like it or not. It's pretty much that in a nutshell. Other draft stuff. Bludgeon Brawl. Putting that aside, I got a use for that. I got a Landless deck that uses a bunch of the old talismans from the original Mirrodin block and a few other fun, happy artifacts. It's I'm going to equip this Mercadian Atlas to Marisi's Twin Claws. It's a big book with large type. I picked up 2 Vernflex. Yay. Mycosylph 1 Wellspring. It's alright. The Phyrexian Metamorph. I like these guys. I think that means I have a playset now. I think. Pith Driller. He's solid. Another Slave. Shriek Raptors. I don't like how high they are on the mana curve, but a 2/3 flying with Infect. Can't complain. Geth's Verdict. Genetic Growths. Lost Leonin. 2/1 Infect for Colsonite. He's alright. Blinding Soul Eater. Not bad. Sickle Slicer. No. Slicer? Yeah. He's alright. That's living equipment for 3 colors. Equip creature gets +2/+2. Equips for 4. I think the equip cost is a little on the high side. I mean, that's just my opinion though. Don't know. Forced Worship. Cute card. Parasitic Implant. That's a card that a lot of people tend to play wrong because they don't realize that the controller of the implant gets the token creature. So remember, whenever a card says you, it refers to the controller of the card. Whoever casts the enchantment controls it, barring crazy silliness. Another Gremlin Mine. Phyrexia's Core, interesting. It works well with the Mycosynth Wellspring. Works well with that. Unfortunately, we weren't drafting the whole block, because otherwise it would also work well with the Iker Well Springs. The implant Porcelain Legionnaire, he's nasty. 2 colors and a P white for a 3/1 first striker. You can drop him on its turn too, regardless of what color you're playing. 3/1 first strike is pretty solid. Another Soul Eater, Wellspring, Dismember, playable in any color. A target creature gets -5/-5 till end of turn. It's an instant. Colors in 2 Phyrexian black. It's evil stuff. Apostle's Blessing, colorless and a P white. Target artifact or creature you control gains protection from artifacts or color of your choice till end of turn. It'd be better if it was target creature, not target artifact or creature, not target artifact or creature you control, because then you could like force enemy creatures to drop equipment. But I guess they just didn't want to do it that way. They probably saw that coming and said, no, that's wrong. Forced Worship, another Deathhead Cobra, Thundering Tanadon, 4 colors, double Phyrexian green for a 5/4 Trampler. He's okay. I don't think he's exceptional, but he's okay. Viridian Harvest, that just got like passed to me as a last pick. I don't like it. You enchant an artifact. If the enchanted artifact goes to the graveyard, you gain 6 life. I'm not keen on it. A couple of Glissa Scorns, a Beast Within. Yeah, 2 colors and a green for an instant. Destroy target permanent controller. He's a 3/3 beast. It's alright. Loxodon Convert. I think I mentioned him last week. He doesn't impress me. Defensive Stance also does not impress me. Artillerize is fun. Once again, one of those cards that synergizes with the Wellsprings. Victorious Destruction. War Report I don't really like. Dispatch, again, nice if you can consistently get Metal Crab. Entomber Exarch, 2 colors, double black for a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, either creature from your graveyard to your hand, or look at your opponent's hand and they pitch a non-creature. What's actually kind of interesting is last night one of my opponents used that on me, looked at my hand and he made me pitch something. And afterwards, I noted to him, I probably would have made me pitch the land. He's like, what? And that kind of took him aback, because usually when you have a card like that, it specifies non-land as well. And that probably was his mental hang-up on that. Pestilent Soul Eater, it's okay, it's 5 mana for a 3/3. Gains Infect on Phyrexian black. It's alright. It's not exemplary. Nothing too snazzy. Oh well. Looking at stuff I got in my fat pack, a bunch of commons. Vapor Snag, another little card. Blind Soul Eater, another Ball Splicer. Revoltless Invasion has yet to impress me. Suture Priest is a nasty little piece of work. Vault Scourge, anyone can run it. It's a fun card. Usually it pays for itself. Spire Monitor, he's a 3/3 flash flying for 4 and a blue. I think people underestimate him a lot. The surprise factor can be really big. There's a Razor Swine. Arm with Ether. I'm not convinced on Arm with Ether yet. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great either. I don't know. Shrine of Boundless Growth, that's the green shrine. It's 3 colorless, gets counters during your upkeep or when you cast a green spell, and you can tap and sack it for colorless mana equal to the number of counters that were on it. It's alright. I don't think it's anything special. I suppose if you're running a deck with a lot of stuff on the high end of the mana curve, but otherwise, nah. Viral Drake. He's nasty. He's a 1/4 flyer with Infect, and 3 colors and a blue. Proliferate. No tap or anything required, so that's kind of nasty. Phyrexian on Knife again. Rolls Tip. Island. Blasting Out, Destruction, Soul Eater, Mortis Dogs, Chain Throat Seeker. He can be nasty. Sometimes he can't, so take that for whatever you want to take it as. Trespassing Soul Eater, it's a 2/2 for 3 colors. Becomes unblockable if you pump Phyrexian Blue into him. Blighted Ancient is Royal PETA. 1/1 Infect unblockable. Yeah, unblockable Infect guy. Really, guys? It's alright. Gut Shot, it's interesting. I'm not 100% sold on it, but it's not bad. Cathedral Membrane, I'm not sure what I think of it. It's a colorless enough Phyrexian White for 0/3 Defender. When it's put to the graveyard from battlefield during combat, deals 6 damage to each creature it blocked. It'd be better if it had the ability to block more than one creature. Fallen Ferromancer, I like them. 1/1 Infect for 4 mana, colorless red, tap, deals 1 target creature or player. It's not bad, I like it. Almost unavoidable Infect. Hey look, it's another Metamorph. Told you I had more. Combined with like 2 I picked up last week, that I believe that gives me a playset. Sensor Splicer, it's alright. Hey look, it's a red crawworm. Whoop-de-doo. Toxic Nim, I don't really like him. I mean, yeah, he's a 4 power Infect guy with regeneration, but he's got toughness of 1. And against other Infect, he just crumbles. Slash Panther, I'm not really sold on. It's okay. 4 colors and a Phyrexian red for a 4/2 hasty. Like I said, I'm not sold on it. Numbing Dose is annoying as all hell. I've seen people go out of their way to pick up multiple Numbing Doses in draft, and I can't say I blame them. I mean, it's control and offense all at once. Kilmwalker is interesting. I haven't really had the chance to use him yet. He just never makes the cut. Sorry. Dispatch. Torpor Orb. I've seen some people say that, make the observations like, yeah, I want to get some Torpor Orbs and use them with, Phyrexian Dreadnoughts. For those of you who don't know, Phyrexian Dreadnoughts, an artifact creature from Mirage, costs 1 colors to play. It's a 12/12 trample. When it comes into play, you sacrifice creatures whose total power is 12 or more, or sacrifice the Dreadnought. Yeah. So, if you have Torpor Orb on the board, you can just drop Dreadnought. No one won't care. Scrapyard Solvable, colors 2 red, sorcery, damage target player equal number of artifacts in your graveyard. I'm not sold on it. Not sold. Blind Zealot, I think I've mentioned him before. He's pretty much an improved version of Netrite in Fallen Empires. It's kind of a shame that his creature type is Human Cleric. He would have made an awesome Thrall. Noxious Revival, Phyrexian green instant. Put a card from your graveyard on top of owner's library. Card from a graveyard on top of owner's library. It's interesting. I don't know if I like it, but it's interesting. We've seen the effect of some before in green, no less. Having it for free is kind of interesting. The Gremlin Mine, of course, the Legionnaire, Slicer. Master Slicer is actually really nice. It's 4 mana, gets you himself and a 3/3 Golem. Oh, and he gives all Golems +1/+1. So effectively, you drop him on the board, you get a 1/1 and a 4/4 for 4 mana. It's not bad. Lash Wraith. It's 4 colors for a living weapon. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each swamp you control, and it equips for double Phyrexian black. I mean, if you're going to be playing it, you're going to be playing it with swamps anyway. So you're going to have them on to equip it. But, you can... if you've got creatures on board and it's turn 4, you can just play it, pay the 4 life, suit it onto something that's ready to swing, and just go to town. So, yeah. Phyrexian Hulk, I mentioned him last week, I believe. He's a reprint. He's cute. He's fun. I don't know if I'd use him. I haven't used him yet. Trying to find stuff here that I haven't talked about yet, you know. Like I said, I just opened. This is all stuff from a fat pack right now. Volshock Refugee. It's a calls in 2 red for a 3/2 pro red. Protection from red is an ability you see on a handful of red cards. Not too many, but a handful. You'll see it on, like, I'll say Keeper of Kukus, Beasts of Bogarden. There's a goblin somewhere in TimeSpiral that has pro red. I can't think of what his name is. But, yeah, there's a handful of red creatures with pro red out there. Not too many, but it's funky. It's fun. Oh, Shrine of Burning Rage. That is the good shrine. That's the one that screws people up. Actually, in one of the drafts, one of my opponents had Shrine of Burning Rage on the board, and he was planning on killing me with it, and then I dropped the 6/6 flying lifelink vampire on the board, and he's like, I can't outrace that, and he nuked him. Phyrexian Jester. You know, if you could mana accelerate him onto the board, he can be nasty. Otherwise, it's a 7-drop. I mean, really, guys? That's really high on the mana curve. Granted, he's a great effect. Great effect. I mean, he's a 3/3. When he comes into play, you exile target non-token creature, and that creature's imprinted on him, and he gets +X, +Y, where X is the imprinted creature's power and Y is its toughness. Basically, he enters the board, removes the creature from play, and exiles the creature, and add that creature's power and toughness to his own. Another Gitaxian Probe. It's Phyrexian blue. Look at your opponent's hand and draw a card. It's alright. I kind of like it. I might actually end up running it in my mono black discard deck, because I'm also running, heavens forbid, what is it called? I think it's Street Wraith. I can't remember what it is. It's a 3/4 Swamp Walk dude that cycles for 2 life. I'm like, yeah, there you go. Viridian Betrayers, they're kind of cute. They're 3/1. If your opponent is poisoned, it gets infect. It's kind of interesting. Fits in with Ether Wind strategy of regular damage or infect. Impaler Shrike, he's kind of nasty. He's really fragile with his 1 toughness, but that 3 power is nasty. And the fact that you can, slap your opponent for 3 and then sack him for 3 draw cards, that's not friendly. Not friendly. Brutalizer Exarch, 5 and a green for 3/3. When he enters the field, search your library for a card, reveal, shuffle, put on top, or target non-creature permanent on bottom of owner's library. It's interesting. Prider's Grasp, colorless double black sorcery, search your opponent's library for a card, exile it face down, that player shuffles library. You may look at and play card for the exiled card for as long as it remains exiled. See, that's kind of nasty, because I went up against that in draft. Let me tell you something. It's really annoying when your opponent steals your enslave and then enslaves one of your dudes. It's like, really? What the hey, really? Oh, look at this. Rotted Hystrix. 4 and a green for a vanilla 3/6. I don't like them. They might even be good, I just don't like them. I've never seen anyone use them. Trying to find crazy stuff in here. Death Head Cobra. 2/2, optional reach, optional death touch. He intimidates people. He's scary. He scares things a lot bigger than he is. That's always fun. Anchor Explosion, 5 double black for sorcery in addition to cost. Sack a creature. All creatures get -X till end of turn, where X is sacrificed creature's power. You know, that's actually better than I thought when I first looked at it. It pretty much, depending upon what you sack, it's 7 mana to wipe the board. Black is usually not terrifically good at wiping the board. It's usually better at spot removal. Usually. There's been a handful of cards that have been better at mass removal, like Mutilate, Damnation. But generally, black's a spot removal color. Tormentor Exarch, 2/2, enters the battlefield. Target creature gets +2/+0, or target creature gets -0/-2. He's not bad. Shattered Angel, I think I mentioned him last week. His life gain ability usually isn't relevant, in my opinion. Usually. Chancellor of the Forge, 4 and triple red for a 5/5. If it's in your opening hand, you may reveal it. If you do, your first upkeep, you get a 1/1 red goblin token with haste. When he enters the field himself, you put X 1/1 red goblin tokens with haste onto the field, where X is the number of creatures you control. He's interesting, he's nasty. I don't know if I'd use him, but I do kind of like him a little. Marrow Shards, Phyrexian White, instant, 1 damage to each attacking creature. It's interesting. It's good for nuke and infect. It's like, oh, you're all coming at me? Bam! Soul Conduit. 6 colorless tap, 2 target players exchange life totals. I don't really like it. It's an expensive to play, expensive effect. Well, the only thing I could see doing with it, though, is it'd be really, really funny in multiplayer. You know, more than 2 players. Some people like to, get all pedantic and say, and mind you, normally I don't object to being pedantic. It's kind of amusing. But they like to be pedantic and say, well, any game, normally the game is multiplayer anyway, because you have 2 players. But then again, 2 players is also the default. So multiplayer tends to refer to 3 or 4. But yeah, I could see that going in like any kind of multiplayer scenario where you just swap life totals with your opponent, or swap 2 opponents' life totals just to dick around with them. Not to actually accomplish anything. Hovermere, 2 calls for a 1/2 flying vigilance. He's okay. I was trying to see if there's anything else in here to talk on. Psychic Surgery calls in a blue enchantment. Whenever an opponent shuffles their library, you may look at the top 2 cards of the deck. You may exile one of those cards, then put the rest on top in any order. Yeah, it's alright. Exclusion Ritual, 4 double white. When it comes into play, exile non-land permanent, imprint it on the ritual. Players can't cast spells with the same name as the imprinted card. Worst case scenario, it's 6 mana for exile target non-land permanent. That's worst case. In draft, it's not so bad. Constructed, I don't know what's going to happen with it. Maybe it'll end up working, maybe it won't. We shall see. We shall see. Alrighty. I got things I want to do today, which is why I did this, because it's less time to sort through the rest of my time spiral. Catch you guys later. Be good.